Education meeting. Today is June 6, 2018. Can we please stand and pledge allegiance to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody. Tonight is a very special evening. It's a retirement celebration for members of our Henhood community. And our first order of business is to approve the agenda.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay. Next is our consent agenda. Can I please have a motion to approve that? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So as our board president indicated, we are here to celebrate lifelong careers for many of the folks who are retiring from our school community. And this is one of our favorite celebrations and favorite school board meetings, not just because Colonel Perry does an outstanding job with desserts. This really is an awesome time to reflect and give thanks to a number of our committed staff members who are ready to graduate. They're graduating to other things, other priorities, other commitments and other interests. And it certainly is not easy to work in public education these days. And as some of them can attest, they have seen the pendulum swing many different ways. They have seen federal and state initiatives come and go. They have seen students from all walks of life cross their classrooms or their main entrances or their offices and have gone on to do great things and come back and share those experiences. So this school district and this community would not be half of what it is if it wasn't for the dedicated staff that we have and that we employ, many of which that we're going to recognize tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Swerdloff, who's going to be the Emcee for tonight's celebration.
Thank you, Joe. Good evening. Thank you for being here. This is a very special night, as Joe said. A few weeks ago, we were here honoring people at the beginning of their career, and now we're honoring 15 people who are about to embark on the next chapter of their lives. And I want to, the way this is going to work tonight is we have people going to come up by their school. We have 7 people tonight, and some of their administrators or colleagues are going to speak about them. But I just want to say a few words to you all as a group. It's really a special night, as you know, and you have worked for however many years you've worked. Marcia, you get the record, we all know that. In whatever capacity you've worked, whether it's a secretary or a teaching assistant or a teacher, you've done work that is so, so important. And I hope you feel proud and honored to have given so much time to the children in this community. I just want to say thank you for that. Quick thank you to Fran and Jane for helping organize all this. I really appreciate it. They do a great job with that. We're going to start with the high school folks. I'm going to ask Mr. Mackin to come up. There he is. And we have Jan Ayala and Marcia Bailey. So Jim will call you up when he's done with it.
Good evening, everyone. I want to congratulate all our retirees. I have the distinct honor of speaking about 2 very special people at the high school. So I'd first like to ask Jan Ayala to come up. Maybe you can stand next to me, as you always normally do throughout and helping me. I say this every year, and it's the truth. These moments are bittersweet because this is not just a profession, it's not just a job, it's a life, and it's something that you do and build relationships with people. And Jan has really been a special person to me as a leader, and I know that she's been an even more special person to the students that she teaches. Jan has been responsible for many, many things here at the high school. She has left her mark, whether it be through artwork or the living canvas that is her students. And we are truly, we're happy for her and sad for Andrew Hudson that she will be leaving. The programs that you have brought to our school and the arts have been dynamic and cutting edge, okay? There's not many schools that have stained glass and jewelry making, and the things that you have done have really made us even more distinguished as an art school. And I couldn't be more blessed to have you as an art instructor here. It will be very, very difficult to walk down in the basement where the art rooms are, Jan, and not smell the hot cocoa brewing in the morning, or the tea, and or just having you poke in when I haven't seen you in a while to have you say, how's everything going, are you okay? And you hold a very, very special place in my heart, and I want to tell you that. But I know you hold an oh so special place in the hearts of all the children that you've taught. And it's been more than the art. It's been about teaching them to be good humans, to be kind, and the art was kind of came along for the ride. So I want to congratulate you and your family, and you will be sorely missed. Sorely, sorely missed. You don't live too far away, so please come.
So, Jane, we have a tradition at Sergeant. You get to walk down the aisle and shake everyone's hand. Yes, please. So, it's similar to a purple.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Because the PTSA, we are going to get you scholarships to seniors who did the track and field this year. Very nice. So enough fundraising.
Thank you so much. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next contestant, Mr. Haley, if you could please come up here and stand next to me. This is a hard night. As a leader, both of these ladies have had quite an influence on me as a leader. They have bullied me. They have forced me to do things that I'm not enjoying.
It's the truth.
It is. So a couple things about Marcia. First of all, I did a math problem while I was waiting to speak about here, and it was 48 minus 44. 48 is how old I am, and 44 is how long you've been teaching.
No, here.
Here, how long have you been teaching?
I had another year.
All right, so 45. Thanks for showing up. So what people don't know, and Marcia didn't know at the time, is back around 2001, before I came to Hen HUD, I was accompanying my wife while she was coaching track in Putnam Valley. And I was standing watching her do her stuff, and all of a sudden I heard somebody, I don't want to say screaming, very forcefully directing young men and women to get in line for the 100-meter dash. I said, yelling. Yes, it was yelling, Marcia. You might want to do her own speech tonight. I don't know. But anyway, I said to my wife, I said, who is that woman that is yelling at the kids, 4 by 100 boys line up? And she said, that's Marcia Bailey. I said, oh my God, what? She yells a lot. And then I came to Hen HUD, and I said, oh my God. I said, oh my gosh. So, and she still yells in the hallways and in her classroom, but it is something to behold. Marcia is, the only way I can describe it is she is an advocate for students. I have never seen a teacher, encountered a teacher that every morsel, every muscle in their body, every effort that they take is for students. And that is something that no matter where you go, no matter what you do, no matter when I see you, I will always be touched by that. And it's a model for teachers that are starting their career. It's a model for teachers that have been in this career for a long time. Is that as a teacher, we need to focus on students and everything that we do. Students. And I can tell you that has had an impact on my leadership. Each and every day, Marcia comes into my office and we have a counseling session. and we talk about math, and she made sure that math is a relevant part of the day here with my leadership every single day. Every day. Every single day. But I will, Marcia, all kidding aside, I will sorely miss your leadership. I will sorely miss those meetings in September. I'll be wondering, who's going to yell at me in the second period.
I only live half a mile.
I know you do. I know. We're going to be working on a plan. But anyway, I will miss you tremendously. I don't know what else I can say other than it's been an honor to work with you. I've learned so much from you. And it's going to be a rough day in September, not only for the school, but for the kids that will not have the influence of your teaching and the community that you have built inside and outside of your classroom. I think when I thought about you last night, that has been your greatest impact. Your mathematics skill is beyond, reproach. But your ability to create a community in the classroom, create a community within a school, create a community within your track team that is inclusive of everyone is unmatched. That really is something that the halls and I will miss tremendously. Congratulate you. I love you. I love you. And good luck.
I have to go. I only live half a mile away. I will be seeing you again. I will see you guys. Okay. Oh, absolutely. I have to. Oh, I'm sure. Well, so does my husband, but he can do it.
Hey, but you're still trapped.
Yeah.
So we're going to move to the middle school now. And John, I was principal of the middle school.
Hello everyone, good evening. I have 3 retirees tonight. I was thinking about some of the cliches that people say about people who retire and whether or not they can be replaced. And it got me thinking that all 3 of these individuals have made a mark on Blue Mountain that would be very difficult to replace, likely impossible. First up, Lynn LaVecchia. Come on up, Lynn. After years of working in the district, Lynn has been in Blue Mountain for the last few years. And Lynn is literally the face of Blue Mountain, which is a powerful statement. Her unique style, her decoration in the main office are something that will not be duplicated. And then on top of that, Lynn can be found co-running a club, a dance club, not your typical role of a secretary. She's at dances and other events all the time, and it's really going to be very different to not have Lynn greeting me every morning. So thank you very much for all you've done for our district.
Thank you so much.
That was Lynn Marie LaVecchia. Now Lynn Marie Del Vecchio. Please come up. That's one thing that will be easier without two. Lynn found her niche with working with our physical education department, and Blue Mountain many years ago was able to obtain a substantial grant with Project Adventure equipment, both inside, outside, and as well as a fitness center. Lynn was trained in Project Adventure. I've undergone that training myself. I've seen many other people do it. The training's one thing. The knot tying and how to do some of the mechanics is one thing. But the true purpose of Project Adventure is is very difficult in the middle school. You're asking kids to challenge themselves, go beyond their comfort level, do so in front of their peers without having their peers react in any kind of negative way. It's a feat that not too many people can achieve. Lynn has done an unbelievable job of doing this year after year, where there are nothing but smiles from students undergoing, truly challenging themselves in very uncomfortable situations. Again, going to be very difficult to come close to a replacement. So thank you very much for your work.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Colasanti, please come up. Patty, yet again, another person with a very distinct set of skills. This is a physical education certified teacher as well as a special education certified teacher. It's an unusual combination, which once again might be close to impossible to replace directly. The district has utilized Ms. Valsante's skills throughout her years here in virtually every school in the building, everyone, virtually close to every grade in the building. She's done so as a physical education teacher, she's done so as a special education teacher, and she's even done both at the same time, working with our ABC students as their health and PE teacher. Quite a feat. Once again, somebody that has interacted, actually all three of the ladies tonight, not your typical educator where you see so many kids per year. All three of these women see every kid virtually every day throughout the district. So they've left a mark on thousands of students, way more than your average regular teacher even does. So thank you, Ms. Colasanti, for everything you've done.
Fran has been working here for quite some time, and she's already retired, so this is maybe a little strange for her. But I want to say about something about walking into the building and seeing Fran in the office. You know, schools are very special places, and sometimes they're stressful, and sometimes it's hot, and sometimes it's people are in a rush, and they don't always say hi, and they don't always acknowledge you. But one thing about Fran, when she was sitting behind her desk in the office, she would always say hello. She would always acknowledge your presence, and always with a smile, and always with kindness. I really appreciate that. And Barbara Pearson to speak to you.
I would just like to say thank you, Fran, for all the years that you put in and all the time that we spent together. You always were willing to be helpful, and you know, anybody who had a request, any parent who walked in the building, you always attempted to solve everybody's problems in a kind and thoughtful manner. And you will sorely be missed. So thank you.
Okay, our last retiree tonight is Francesca Cerullo, also from Franchi Lindsay. Come on up, Francesca. I'm not supposed to speak because Marie Manners is supposed to speak about you, but I'm going to anyway. So my office was right underneath Francesca's classroom for many years. And, so I walk past her classroom all the time, and one of the reasons why I like my office in Franchi Lindsay is because there's always a lot of little kids around, and I just really remember fondly walking past your classroom and seeing you engage with students and seeing students learning and working. Really, I miss that. I miss seeing you there. So Marie Manners is going to say a few words.
Francesca and I go way back. We met in the Premier Athletic Club at prenatal exercise class 35 years ago. Yeah, so we go way back. Francesca started her career in Franchi Lindsay as a kindergarten aide with Terry Pierce. What an experience that was. For those of us who remember Terry Pierce, OMG. Oh gosh, okay. All right, then, I forgot I was being tipped, sorry. Then she worked at Franchi in 4th grade, in kindergarten, and in 2nd grade. Francesca she's an amazing person and colleague, and she will be missed dearly. She's overcome some incredible obstacles with grace and with courage, and we're really going to miss her. I know she's going to enjoy her retirement, though, because she just had a little granddaughter. Many wonderful years to enjoy her retirement with her granddaughter, so I wish you the best. And here's my other half. I was going to say.
I just want to say thank you, Francesca, because despite any obstacles in your life, in your way, you always persevered and you went above and beyond, more than what anybody ever expected. And for that, I think children, parents, staff members are all so grateful. And you truly are somebody that we can look up to, and just say thank you so much. Thank you for
And I'm just going to say a little bit about all our retirees and what an honor it is to congratulate all of you tonight as you embark on your new journey to retirement. Francesca, Patty, Marcia, Jan, Fran, and Lynn and Lynn. We at the Hendrick Hudson School District are indeed fortunate to have had the privilege of sharing our retirees' expertise, their work ethic, and their commitment to our students and our staff. You have all left a remarkable legacy behind, and one which will remain with us for years to come. You are leaving the HHEA a better place than when you found it, and that will remain a lasting tribute to your professionalism. Remember us fondly, and may the years that lie ahead be filled with laughter, happiness, and lots of good health. This is our wish for all of you as we say so long, but not farewell. Thank you.
Good.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles Thompson, where's the
I know.
Joe has it.
I happen to have some. Thank you.
Congratulations to everybody again. So just to wrap up, I want to say thank you to all of you for being here tonight, family and friends. I also want to just point out at the very beginning of the board meeting tonight, there was a little 5-second statement you might have missed, and that was when the board approved the consent agenda. And on that consent agenda were some new employees that are starting their careers here in Hendrick Hudson. And I want to welcome Kyle, who's sitting quietly in the back there. That's sort of the flow of the school district, the life of the school district. People come and they begin their careers, and then some leave eventually. So congratulations, everybody. This is a good point if you don't want to stay for the rest of the board meeting to make a quick escape. If you want to stay, you're certainly welcome to, and if you're leaving, take some snacks on the way out.
Okay, we have 2 presentations tonight. First, I'd like to welcome Laura Koch to our podium. She has a number of talented students with her. We're very honored to have a robust and rigorous internship experience for students who are seniors so they can explore some careers, they can have engagement with business owners and individuals who work in the field of student interest. It gives them certainly a leg up. We know everything about preparing kids for a changing workforce, that our high schools do a great job of preparing students, but if you don't have a legitimate, relevant experience in the workforce, sometimes kids are ill-prepared. So Laura has taken this on over the last number of years. She works tirelessly throughout our region to line up internship opportunities based on student interest, based on local businesses and agencies in the region that need some help, and she is a fantastic ambassador for our school district in this program, and she has some even more outstanding young leaders who are ambassadors as well. So I'll turn it over to Laura.
Thank you very much, Joe. So I was on a strict time limit. So Joe has said everything for me that I need to say, but I do want to say it's kind of poignant tonight that we have retirees that are being presented here, ushering in a new kind of phase in their lives. And the same thing is true here for these students, all our students. But the interns that are here tonight are here to kind of show you that they are starting this new transition from school into college and into real world. And the skills that they've developed over the last year, I couldn't be more proud of them. And I thank you for giving us the opportunity for them to show you. I had a presentation which I'm not going to go through under dire warning, but I did have pictures and of students and what they did over the years. And I thought to myself, well, that's great. I have the real deal here. I have the students here to tell you about what they did. And they're going to introduce themselves, they're going to introduce their names and tell you a little bit about what they did. And I'm just going to say, I actually have 3 current students, and I'm fortunate enough that one of our alumnus has come back, our intern alumnus. He's now been a year in college, and he had a great experience, and he's going to tell you a little bit about that too. So first up is going to be Cassie Levine.
As Cassie gets ready, I want to let everyone know that the presentation in its entirety is on our Board of Education website. So while we may not get to all the slides and all the content, the entire presentation can be viewed online.
Well, like Ms. Koch said, my name is Cassie. I do my internship at Hudson River Healthcare in Peekskill. I plan on going to University of New Hampshire next year to study nursing. My major is nursing, but I basically just work like internships in all the different departments, in like pediatrics and women's health, internal medicine, and all that stuff. And I learned a lot of different things, and it helped me learn a lot of the skills that I would be using next year. So.
Hello everybody, my name is Kayla Zott, and I interned with the Westchester County Police Department. So I've always been really interested in criminology and criminal justice. So I basically got to spend each day with a different unit of the police force. So like one day I was in the communications center observing 911 calls. The next day I was at the aviation unit. I got to actually go like sit inside the police helicopter. I got to go with the marine unit on the boat. I got to go to the police academy and observe like simulations of how they train the new recruits. I got to go into the forensics lab. I even got to go in a patrol car, and I had to wear a little bulletproof vest, so that was really cool. But yeah, I just, given this opportunity was really amazing, and wouldn't trade it for the world, so yeah.
Hi, I'm Catherine, and I did an internship at a veterinary hospital. So I did a lot of cool things that I never thought I would be able to do. Like I watched surgeries, I participated in a lot of appointments, I learned patient restraints, including how to hold animals and what they don't like to be held like. I've learned from how to process lab samples to preparing exam rooms, vaccines, and prescriptions. I've also learned how to record a history, and that's when I started to break out of my shell. But even though I started to become comfortable in my work environment, it wasn't really the career path right for me. But even though it isn't really, I didn't find it right for me, I'm still grateful for that opportunity because it made me limit my options. And I'm truly grateful for that. Yeah, I'm just moving to create it.
My name is Eric Ham. I graduated last year. I just spent a year of school at RIT, just got back a few weeks ago. I interned at Giulianti Machine Tools in Peekskill, New York, just right over there, John Lynch Boulevard. They hired me for last summer. I'm working there right now. I've done so much there that I would not have done if I did not do the internship program. Right now I'm standardizing tooling there and a whole bunch of things that I cannot explain in a minute.
Also, they're all engineering, so it's very complicated.
Yeah, I'm working there this summer too, and
well, I thank them for coming out and being candid about the types of skills that they're learning in the workplace and directed at certain things that they were interested in. And even heard from somebody that just really kind of, from Catherine, who really wasn't sure. She wanted to try veterinary. She wasn't really sure. And now she knows, she's not going to college particularly to focus on that, whereas because she had the experience. And I can't say what, really is so exhilarating for me as a teacher is to see when they come in the next day from something that they've experienced in the workplace and they have that like a fire in their eyes and they were so excited to have experienced something that is so just directed at what they really want to learn about. So it's been very rewarding for me, and we're going into our 5th year of it, and I hope to continue. And as you can, and anybody in the audience can continue to remember us, we're constantly looking for places where students can really experience real-world positions like this, so that they can make decisions for themselves. And I thank you for supporting us. Thank you.
Our next presentation is really a celebration, so our school community can meet the class of 2018 valedictorian and salutatorian. So Danielle and Melody, please come on up. So we have asked over the last number of years our valedictorians and salutatorians to introduce themselves, not just to the Board of Education, but our community at large. And at the end, we'll make them shake everyone's hand. That's a theme. And it's important for our community to understand and see and hear from some of our top students who did not achieve this level of success by mistake. They didn't achieve it overnight. It was hard work, commitment, parents at home that were supportive, outstanding teachers, support staff, and it's a culmination of an outstanding public school career where Melody and Danielle are going to have incredible opportunities that they're going to share with everyone and some highlights from their time here at Hendrick Hudson High School. So whoever would like to go first, have at it.
Good evening. As Mr. Hopwriter said, my name is Melody Munitz. First off, I'd just like to say that my experience at Hen Hud has been really incredible. I think that we have an incredibly strong district, and I'm really proud to say that I'm a graduate of Hen Hud, and I'm excited to be standing here before you tonight. So to tell you a bit about some of the things I was involved in during my time here, I spent a lot of time with the theater department and a lot of involvement with the science research program. While at the high school, I performed in 6 shows under the direction of Claire Carey, provided our wonderful refreshments for this evening, and under the musical direction of Mrs. Stetler, the chorus teacher here at the high school. Since theater is my passion and my career path, it was really incredible to be able to be involved so integrally in the program at the high school and have so much support. And I got to perform a lot of my dream roles, and it was a lot of dreams come true experiences and a great opportunity to form a real family and bonds with the students that I was with, but also with the teachers. Both Claire and Mrs. Stetler became like second and third mothers to me, and I was really lucky to have them always supporting me through my time at the district. I also formed special relationships with other teachers, and I really loved learning from teachers such as Mr. Tulo and Mr. Confrey and Mrs. Bartham as math and science and English teachers here, who are really passionate about the work that they're doing and the material that they're teaching, and taught me a lot of lessons both in and out of the classroom, not only about their respective subjects, but also just about how to be a person and how to be hardworking and how to follow your passions, and I really appreciated that. I also became very close with Dr. Rogers. She's an incredible woman and an incredible teacher, and also like a mother to me. That was through the Science Research Program, which I'm sure many of you know is the program that allows high school students to conduct graduate level research with a scientist, either somewhere locally. My mentor happens to be in England, so there were a lot of Skype meetings. And through that program, I was able to hone in on some of my passions in the sciences, specifically neuroscience and psychology, and learn the nuances of the careers that otherwise I wouldn't have ever had the opportunity to do. I am kind of a theater person at heart, and so if it weren't for this program, I wouldn't have been able to explore my passions in theater and my passions in science in addition to my passions in theater. And because of that, I'll be able to study both in college. That leads me to the fact that in the fall, I will be attending the Schreier Honors College at Penn State, where I will be studying musical theater, and if time allows, hopefully picking up a minor in psychology. I'm beyond ecstatic to be headed off in the next direction and have so many people here supporting me as I fly on or sail away, whichever metaphor you and I'm going to miss Hen Hud a great deal. Just walking through the halls has been incredible. I have an older brother, Jazz, who many of you also know. He served on the board as a student liaison for a little while, and so I was always kind of the younger sibling who got to walk through the halls and be like, one day I'll be there, you're doing those assignments, eating in that cafeteria. And so it's kind of surreal to be standing here today after having our senior breakfast and senior barbecue and getting our yearbooks and kind of be wrapping up this chapter. But I'm always going to look back on the memories that I made here and with a warm smile and a happy heart. So thank you to this district for everything it's done.
Good evening. My name is Danielle Smith. First, I would like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm so honored to be able to do this. During my time at Hendrick Hudson High School, I have grown as a student, an athlete, a friend, and most importantly, as an individual. Sailor pride and the values it instills is certainly unique. Hendrick Hudson has allowed me to broaden my horizons and venture into new territories. The teachers at the high school truly care about their students, and they encourage us to learn for the sake of learning, not just for receiving a grade. As I look back on my high school experience, of course I remember the endless nights studying for an AP Calc exam or finishing an AP literature paper. However, what really stands out are the friendships I have made, the relationships I have built, and the foundation I have established for my future.
I will always remember raising $46,000 for the American Cancer Society as the co-head chair of Really for Life. And I will always remember delivering a $10,000 check to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital after months of fundraising with my cheerleading team. I will always remember the countless hours I spent on that bumpy Henhood soccer field I quickly came to love. And I will always remember the teachers who have fostered my love of learning. Hendrick Hudson High School has classes that cater towards every student. The many EP courses and honor tracks offered have challenged me and forced me to draw connections between all subjects. Specifically, the Project Lead the Way biomedical science courses have piqued my interest in health, and I now plan on entering the medical field. Each biomed class offered has certainly taught me the importance of time management and organization, but they have also taught me the importance of having a passion for what you do. Because of these classes, I have been able to make future plans and think about potential career fields. The hands-on activities and complex labs I have performed with my fellow classmates have definitely prepared me for my undergraduate studies, as they have equipped me with many of the tools I will need as I take on a major in neuroscience next year. I am beyond excited to attend Duke University. I have also been selected for a focus group, a program at Duke where students are exposed to ideas from the vantage point of different disciplines, broadening across the humanities, natural sciences, and social sciences. My focus cluster is titled Genetics and Genomics, Epigenetics, Environment, Evolution, and Ethics. And through my studies in this program, I hope to perform research in genetics. While I am very excited to continue exploring my academic interests, I also cannot wait to keep repping the blue and white over the next 4 years. Thank you.
Ladies. Yes. You get to do the handshake walk. Valedictorian, salutatorian.
Okay, we now have acceptance of donations.
So the first donation I'll jump in is from the Peter Kelly teaching kitchen at the
Presbyterian.
Yep, at the Hudson Valley Hospital. They are redoing their test kitchen, and Peter Kelly designed this $2 million space. And so the hospital is interested in finding a nice, safe home for some of this outstanding industrial kitchen equipment and appliances. So we're very lucky that they thought of us. And if you haven't been to the test kitchen, make sure you go. They have classes. I took a class. They have outstanding programs that are right in our backyard. So we're very thankful for this very significant donation to our food service movement.
And next we have the donation for the PTA, $5,600 for Furnace Woods Elementary School. The Furnace Woods Elementary School PTA made a donation to the school to purchase 2 basketball hoops for their outdoor playground. So we thank Furnace Woods PTA for a very generous donation. Okay. This is the Barbara Katzenstein Scholarship Fund. Barbara Katzenstein had worked in our district, and her family is exceptionally generous in giving money every year to help pay for summer camp funding for students with significant handicap conditions. So we thank them very, very much for their generosity every year to our school district. Furnace Woods School PTA. Right. And donation to supplement the same thing, what's in education and shopping. Thank you very much again. From Frank G. Lindsay. Frank G. Lindsay School received a donation of a hardcover book, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, from parents of the district, and we thank them for their generosity. I'm sorry, going back to the other one, that was the Furnace Woods PTA that gave donations for the arts and education in Ashoka. And our last one is Entergy made an exceptionally generous donation of $26,800 to supplement our after-school summer enrichment program in the middle school project Lead the Way. Gateway to Technology program. Thank you very much. And here it is. Can I please have a motion to accept the donations? So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Wonderful. It's exceptionally wonderful that we have so many very generous people and organizations that help to fund our programs. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. All right. Now we have audience comments on non-agenda items. People who are coming to the microphone, please make sure you have signed in with the appropriate information. There will be, Roseanne has it over here. You will be entitled to 3 minutes to speak on non-agenda items. There will be no specific mention of any administrator, teacher, or child, or specific incident allowed. Thank you. If you would submit that question, it will be answered then. Thank you very much.
Okay. So will we be allowed back and forth at that meeting? Or, so if I do submit that, I can be assured that it will be addressed, or will we have an opportunity to speak?
You will not have an opportunity to speak, but if you do submit your question, it should be covered. And if it isn't covered at the time, you can email your question to myself or Mr. Hochreger, and we will provide an answer for you.
Okay. I think this is something that a lot of people have been discussing in our community.
Yes, and we're not going to discuss it here tonight.
I understand that. I just want to make sure that it's not a question that kind of falls to the wayside.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
If anyone does want specifics on what this question refers to, you're welcome to
Thank you. That's it. Thank you, Ms. Whittle.
So I guess my question is Jean.
Jean Rodriguez, I'm sorry.
Just Jean. Okay. So my question is also a safety. You just referred to a parent that you have to come back to. What's the date on that? Can you?
June 13th.
June 13th, and I think.
And if you submit your questions ahead of time,
Okay.
they will be considered to be discussed at the same day. Yeah.
So you're asking us to email the questions that we have regarding safety policies, right?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
So you just asked us to come back June 13th?
No, June 13th, there's a safety meeting. If you email your questions to the district office, questions will be discussed.
Well, we're not, it's not a discussion, when we can actually ask our questions, because we got an email, so why would you refer?
In the fall, we will have follow-up meetings at the individual schools. I don't know what the format is yet for that. But if you do have safety questions that are not covered, you can email Mr. Hockrider or myself.
So now we have to wait until the fall now?
Yes, you do.
For community concerns about safety?
Yes.
June 13th.
Next
week, there's a meeting.
June 13th, there is a safety meeting that is being held in the district.
Okay.
If you email your questions ahead of time, we're having our Altaris, who is our safety group, we're having police presence to answer questions. So those questions hopefully will be answered. And what I'm saying, if they're not, then please email either myself or Mr. Hockrider.
Will the community be able to come up and ask these questions? So what's the
That's
point
why you
of
have
us
to email
asking
them
questions?
questions. This is the format.
The email address is safety@hunhudschools.org.
Thank you.
It's in the email that Mr. Hockrider sent out earlier this week, but it's safety@hunhudschools.org.
And who responds to that? Because I think
I'm not
there's a lot.
sure.
You're not sure? Was that your answer?
I don't know exactly who's going to answer that. I just want to make sure you have that email address.
Okay.
If you submit your questions, they should be covered. We're also going to try and have other questions that may not be covered at the time of the meeting on the website with information and answers provided.
So this is just a yes or no question. Last week you also had a safety meeting as well, but it was closed to the public?
No.
No?
No.
Would you be able to give me what topic was discussed last week? Was it food service?
You're talking about policy meeting?
Yes.
That's a separate, there will be a report of the policy committee later.
Later, at what day?
Today.
Today, but we're not able to discuss some of those
No, because
topics.
this is audience comments now, not going to be reports.
And you don't find that kind of like letting us know prior? Don't you find that a little
Here's
bit?
an agenda
Okay.
that we're following.
But typically, those changed as each meeting progressed since January.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Since January to June, which is June 6th, we've had the ability to make comments on specific topics that are with agenda or outside agenda, but now the discussion is back.
Right,
Now
because
we're
we
not
are
able to
having a
speak.
safety committee meeting that will answer those questions.
And then my last question-
I don't feel that I am an expert on safety, so I do not want to, on behalf of the board, provide information to you that could be incorrect. I don't think you would
Well,
appreciate
Well,
that.
I don't think no one in this room, including myself, is an expert, and that's why the community would like to hear some of these solutions that we've
And
discussed.
that's
you
why
guys
we're having a
presented.
meeting. So,
But we
thank you.
can't
If
speak.
you attend the meeting,
How-
you can
How's my
find out
time? Is my time
information.
limited to 3 minutes?
Excuse me?
Do I still have time? Because you rush people out.
We're 4 minutes, 10 seconds.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Then our next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
So the last time our board came together and our community came together for a board meeting, we celebrated two things. One, passing our annual school budget, and also passing an $18.5 million bond referendum, which was a very major achievement for this community. I want to give a quick update about the capital project. So we go from calling it a bond to now capital project. The capital project, there are a number of phases that will be taking place in timelines over the summer that everyone should know about. Earlier tonight, the board approved a construction management firm. The role of the construction management firm is to lead the day-to-day operations of the project. They will be working with the contractors, the subcontractors, working with the architects, working with the district to make sure things are done on time, make sure things are done within budget, and that all of the important stakeholders have all of the important information. Now that we hired the construction management firm, they will participate with the district on identifying an architectural firm. Those interviews are taking place in the next couple weeks, and we believe that we will have a recommendation for an architectural firm for the board to approve at the June 20th meeting. After the architects are approved, the construction managers and the architects get approved, and they start scoping out the specifics of the project. Over the last number of months, we were entertaining and having conversations with the community about what the goals and objectives of the $18.5 million project was. We had pictures of what auditoriums and classroom spaces could look like. We had visuals of what a new track and field would look like. It now will become the work of the construction management firm and the architects to build those specific plans so that the state education department can approve them. There are 2 phases to receiving state approval for any construction project. The state will determine which parts of the project, specifically supplies, equipment, and resources. So in this case, we're talking windows, doors, locks, video cameras, and technology around the safety component. If some of those purchases and upgrades are on the state contract list through an already approved vendor, we do not need the full state education department approval to make those purchases and begin that phase of the project. The other side of the project where we do need state education approval, which will take anywhere between 30 and 40 weeks because of state education department backlogs and red tape and very important thresholds to meet. Those plans will include renovating foyers, renovating classrooms, the track and field, and other parts of the project that actually require physical construction, disrupting the earth, and any sort of redesign within the school, including the auditoriums in both the middle school and high school. So until we have an architectural firm on board and until they are able to scope out the project, we won't know for probably 8 to 10 weeks how soon we can start on different phases of the project. The entire project is at the mercy of the state education department approving it. There are very specific thresholds that we have to meet. But I know there were a lot of questions around how quickly can we start the upgrades? How quickly can we have a turf field? How quickly can some of the safety infrastructure items go from a vision to a reality? That really will be dependent on state education approval. So we will continue to keep the board and the community apprised of the process and the timeline and what we expect those timelines and outcomes to be over the summer. But we're still a good month to 6 weeks away from even building out those scopes. So while we celebrated a very big victory for our community 3 weeks ago, we now need to exercise extreme patience as we work through the red tape and the bureaucratic system through state education department. We heard earlier, our board president Barbara Pedersen mentioned a safety meeting. There's a safety forum that will take place here in the high school on June 13th. It's next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. This was a forum that we tried to get off the ground back in late March, early April, and we just couldn't get everyone together on time. The forum will include our safety consultants from Alteris. It will include members of the police department from the village of Buchanan. They will include members of the police department from the Westchester Police Department. It will include one of our principals, and it will include also Anthony Merlini, who runs our safety program in the district. They will serve as a panel, and what they will do is they will respond to questions that have been sent in. So someone, I think Lisa mentioned an email. Send your emails or your questions to safety@henhudschools.org. I think we have that deadline by the 10th, because on the 11th, on Monday the 11th, those individuals will come together and read all the questions and prepare the presentation based on questions from parents and community members. The reason that we're doing it this way is to make sure that the time we spend together is based on audience interest, not based on a canned program that the consultants or someone else provides. The programs are different in each school district based on the interests of those who submit questions. For example, there was an identical forum that took place in White Plains. They asked everyone to submit their questions ahead of time so that team could organize the questions by themes. Maybe one theme is armed guards or armed personnel in schools, and we will have someone respond to those series or threads of questions at that time. Another thread might be around safety planning and different drills that we do. So those questions will become a different theme and a different piece of the forum, where one of our Alteris consultants will talk about what we do in terms of drills and how we keep people apprised within the school of how people are trained. Another may be capital projects or technology. What technology is out there to increase safety and security in our schools? We would have someone from the panel respond to that. So the purpose of sending the questions ahead of time is so that team, that panel, can organize those questions and provide the most targeted, most specific answers based on those questions, not a presentation based on what they feel is important. So each time they have done this forum, it's different, and it should be because it's based on interest from the community. So getting those questions in ahead of time is vitally important for the actual forum on June 13th to be as meaningful and as relevant for people as possible. That's the first of a series of conversations we'll have. We'll continue into the fall at school-specific meetings, hopefully partnering with the PTA to talk about school-specific plans and strategies. I think one of the frustrations when you talk about school safety plans or district safety plans is that the state education department demands that certain parts of your plans remain confidential. And that's no different than making sure the opposing football team doesn't get your playbook. Those strategies or some of the information in those plans are protected by law, as they should be. So some of the information may not be able to be fully disclosed, and it's important that we underscore the rationale. It's not my decision or the board's or John Anderson's decision, that's state law. So certainly everyone wants to be as transparent as possible, but the law doesn't always allow it for those reasons. There was a question about what if we can't get to all of the questions at the forum. What we are going to do is create a frequently asked question page on our website, similar to we did with the bond. And so that will be sort of a running blog of different topics or different questions that are asked with a specific answer provided to them. So that will evolve over time based on interest. We did publish the meeting for next Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Of course, that is likely to run over based on interest. But if we can't get to the questions, if the panel of experts can't get to the questions on the 13th, they'll be answered through the blog or the FAQ. If you can't get to the forum on the 13th, it will be videotaped, and we'll put that up on our website so everyone can be made aware as to what was discussed and what the direction is of the district with regards to safety planning.
I would like to say that I know there are questions that people have about how specific schools have conducted certain things, and that's what, we can't discuss that right now, but we are meeting with our safety experts, and that continues to be taking place. So as of right now, there's no final decision. Hopefully we will have something to be able to tell everybody by the time our safety meeting takes place. So with that said, thank you. And next we have our committee reports. I would just like to say, because there have been questions about policy meeting or other committees, and I want everybody in the community to understand that these committees are advisory committees to the Board of Education, and they cannot be made up of no more than 3 board members, so there isn't a quorum. Sometimes we have meetings scheduled on the district calendar and they have to be canceled because of a variety of things. Either people have their work schedules changed, there may be time conflicts, availability for expert advisors to the committee to come in, and perhaps their schedules change. So there's a variety of reasons why meetings are canceled. Although the public is welcome to some of these committee meetings and not all, they have to be only observers. There's no opportunity for public comment or participation at these sessions. Once we have policies or any other information, as we do tonight, for committee reports, that is the time for the public to be able to give their input on a particular item that we're discussing. And that's basically it. We also would like everybody to know that if you have any further information, please feel free to contact me or Mr. Hochreiter, and we will get back to you. This, unfortunately, being a board meeting, is not the time necessarily to be talking about some specific incidences or specific things that you may have questions about. And some people, even within the audience, I know, have met with Mr. Hochreiter or have communicated with me, and I'm very happy to provide the answers as best as I possibly can. So with that being said, we have committee reports.
Sure. We had a policy committee this past week, and we are working on a wellness policy, a school district wellness policy, which is a rather lengthy document in conjunction with Claire Carey. We took a first pass at this. We need some more information on it still, so it's still in committee. Later on this evening, we will be looking at an executive session policy, which needed some upgrades due to changes in legislation.
And just so everybody's also aware, we do not dictate the policies. Policies that we have to discuss or we have to approve are dictated by the New York School Board Association or by our lawyers, Keen and Dean. And that's the only time that policies are brought up to be approved or discussed. Anybody else? No. Okay, now we have comments on agenda items. Anybody? No. Okay. We have a policy reading.
Okay, so this is the executive session policy that I referenced a couple of minutes ago. There is some language in this policy that needed to be changed because of changes in legislation. So it's policy number 2330, and it reads, the Board of Education may hold executive sessions at which only the members of the board of person.
Waive for reading of policy 2320, please.
So you can see there are a number of strikeouts, which are the old policy language and some newer sections in here. This is a first reading, so we'd like to ask the board to have a look at this, see if you have any comments or questions about it. The language, it was dictated pretty much by legislation, so there's not a lot of wiggle room in this particular policy. But if you do have any questions or comments.
That would have been ready for this evening.
Yes.
Right.
So we'll bring it back for 2 weeks.
Bring it, 2 weeks, and we can approve it. Okay, anybody have any new business they would like to discuss? And with that being said, can I please have a motion?
Can I just ask 2 questions?
Oh, sure.
First of all, I know there's been community and parent concern about safety. And I'm very deeply appreciative that we are taking this June 13th meeting for everybody to put in their questions, because I too have questions that are similar to that will get answered and everything. So I think this is a great step in providing safety for our students.
Well, I think there is a need. The community has had, people that have spoken about safety and are concerned about safety, and we are concerned about safety.
Everywhere.
You know,
White Plains had
right.
the same thing.
Every school district, I think, is, you know, spending more time than ever discussing safety, and, you know, it's something that we all have to be passionate about, so. Right.
If I could just give a shout out to the Dance Marathon. It's happening on June 15th, and it's going to be providing funds for people in our community who are fighting cancer and the effects of it. And it's a great organization, a great evening. It should be a lot of fun. It's being put together by 2 of our high school students. We've spent a huge number of hours putting it together. But June 15th from 5 p.m. until midnight. Here at the high school. Yes.
I would also like to give a shout out to Lisa Anderson, who was just appointed to the Westchester Putnam School Board Association's Board of Directors. So thank you. And we really appreciate being able to have representation from our district on the Board of Directors there. And if you would like to see more about this, we will have something very shortly up on our website in relation to this topic. So congratulations, Lisa. All right, anybody else?
If we could reconsider for next year having our meet and greets again, that would, if we can consider that, so people actually have come and talk to us.
Yeah, okay. People are always welcome. And yes, we can talk about that. Excuse me?
That legislation, the new policy, when did it come through? When was it sent to
the
you?
policy,
Legislation, the new legislation to
What you
update that
just read.
policy?
I don't. Do you have the answer on that?
no.
Nobody knows, it hasn't been touched since 2002. It was
Well,
just done
we're not
today.
doing this now. You have to come to the.
I'll come to it, but you
No, because
would
our
ask the
comments are
questions
over.
and you didn't finish
For the
the meeting.
board.
But you didn't finish the meeting.
Yes, we are. I asked the board if they had any other questions.
You didn't ask the community.
Can I please have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll look it up. Second.